John should immediately clinch with his opponent. You can't trade with a slugger. There you see Louie Lomeli, the hometown fighter, coming into the ring. And finally, John Duplessis should gear his defensive strategy to avoiding Louie Lomeli's right hand, because those 18 KOs you see there in his record out of 21 wins have come predominantly with the power that Louie Lomeli has in his right hand.
An abundance of power, to be sure. He was on the undercard of the Pazienza-Haugen fight back in February, and I got to look at him then, and believe me, he does have that power. Here's the difference between them. Nothing appreciable. They're both very young, same in height, similar in weight and reach, so no big difference there.
Yeah, really, if you look at those statistics, they're about the most similar I've ever seen on any fight we've ever done. Even in height, very, very close, half pound in weight.
That's it, half a pound, 3/4 of an inch, and why quibble about that?
And yet they couldn't be more different in terms of style.
Indeed. Duplessis, a big favorite here, although certainly he's fighting in Lomeli's home territory, and he has come into the state of Illinois, where the judges are all state judges, if that will be a factor. It certainly has to enter the mind of Duplessis people as they negotiated for this bout today. But it's an unproven young banger, a chance to make his mark now from nearby Melrose Park against the world class of John Duplessis.
Louie Lomeli, we talked about what John Duplessis has to do to win. I think Louie Lomeli has to start fast to dictate the pace and not let Duplessis find his rhythm. And we talked about Duplessis' movement. Louie Lomeli must cut off the ring on his opponent, not trail him around the ring, but he's got to beat Duplessis to the spot. And finally, I think Louie Lomeli would do very well to work John Duplessis' body when he gets inside, to weaken his opponent's legs and bring down his hands.
Lomeli's last 3 bouts have not gone longer than 3 rounds. All his bouts this year. The referee is Nate Morgan from Chicago. There's the bell, and away they go, scheduled for 10. Again, like in the last bout, these are junior welterweights.
Watch the Lomeli right hand. I really think that's the key punch in the fight. If he lands it, I think he'll win inside the... There it is.
He wades in with it, not bothering to even set it up.
If he go, and he'll quintuple with that punch, Don. He doesn't set up with a jab. He'll throw 4 or 5 of them in a row.
This crowd all the noisier and more active now in support of their man, Louie Lomeli, in the maroon trunks on the right of your screen.
They're really hungry for a world-class boxer here in Chicago, which has such a great boxing tradition, as does New Orleans. In recent years, so many of the undefeated prospects who were coming up bombed out when they went up against tough opposition. They built their records up, padded them with less than worthy opponents, and then when they met somebody decent, they fell apart. And Lomeli and Duplessis both want to break that string. There you see Louie Lomeli switching to left to southpaw just for a second.
Having missed with the right, he follows with the left of the body.
Both these fighters will switch momentarily in an attempt to confuse their opponents, but they really are both natural right-handers, and they stay that way for most of the time.
It is obvious already Duplessis has a far superior style and jab, but he indeed could be vulnerable from this hard-chopping right hand of Louie Lomeli.
There are skeptics about John Duplessis who look at a fight he had against an ordinary Philadelphia fighter named Anthony Williams when he went down and say he doesn't have much of a chin. They should remember that John Duplessis got up and won the last 4 rounds of that fight. Perhaps he learned from it.
They have both been down just once in their career. Lomeli taken down by Massey. They've also both been cut only once in their unbeaten careers.
Just saw Duplessis back up Lomeli with his jab. If he can keep Louie Lomeli going backwards, he'll win this fight.
But for now, he continues to come forward.
And it's not unnatural for Duplessis to get ground like this. He'll move back and forth. The important thing for Lomeli is to watch when he sets himself, because John Duplessis does not punch when he's moving in that lateral fashion. He just moves. He has to set himself to punch.
Lomeli with both hands attacking Duplessis. He blocked about half of them.
And a good right by Duplessis there as Lomeli came in. If you're one of the skeptics about Louie Lomeli, you say, sure, he's got power, but he doesn't have the skill necessary. He's too easy to hit. Louie Lomeli says, I don't care about defense. I don't care about knowing about my opponents. I just care about getting as close to him as I can and hitting him as hard as I can.
been a great first round. Stay with us for more. Here's round 2. Louie Lomeli on the left of your screen in the maroon trunks, trying to score an upset over the world-class John Duplessis from New Orleans.
You notice Duplessis keeps his hands high, and he's got a real good sense of when to get out of the way of trouble.
I think he will have to use that sense against this guy.
And he'll have to sustain it even when he gets tired. Even when he runs down a little bit, he's still going to have to be able to get out of the way. Leslie Bonanno, his manager and trainer, says that wasn't something he was taught. That was something he came to the gym with the first time he ever came in.
There is his wife, Katrina. They are the parents of a 1-year-old named John, and they're both deeply religious people. Duplessis working with the youth of New Orleans in his spare time considerably.
Yeah, a lot of people pay lip service to, I think, youth movements and youth work and that kind of a thing. I think John Duplessis is really deeply committed to it and does a heck of a job down in New Orleans and has earned the respect of that community because of it.
He puts on a cape like Superman and calls himself Super D, and the kids love it and they listen to his message. The message from Lomeli is that I want to beat you and move up in the world rankings. He's not ranked right now.
Duplessis is very highly ranked, and that's not just a function of his 6 more wins. I think it's a good right hand there by Duplessis. It's a function also of his management. I think Leslie Bonanno has done a real good job of bringing him along.
It is interesting. Chicago is well known for its basketball teams, its baseball teams, and certainly hockey and football, but not for boxers lately. Lomeli wants to change all that.
You see Louie coming in, but he's really not keeping up his punching. I think this defensive movement's got him a little bit stymied. He must keep moving his hands. Just look at all this time that's gone that he hasn't thrown a punch. Right now he's thinking too much about getting Duplessis in a perfect position and not enough about punching. There he has it pinned on the ropes, but Duplessis moves away.
I will say this, though, the speed advantage and the skill advantage on the part of Duplessis is not overwhelming at this stage against young Lomeli. 30 seconds to go in the second round. Another bruising one. Lomeli wisely is trying to go to the body to slow his man down. And he's forcing Duplessis to miss, and he scores now against the ropes.
He scored a few punches, missed a lot, and Lomeli came away from that encounter smiling because there was some effective bobbing and weaving by Duplessis and a good quick move out of the corner to get out of trouble.
Partially blocked left hook thrown by Lomeli.
Yeah, but you saw him hold his right a little bit higher after the punch. It did get home a little bit.
We'll be back. Back with you ringside in Villa Park, Illinois, not far from Chicago's O'Hare Airport. We have had a couple of outstanding junior welterweight bouts today. Earlier this afternoon, Meldrick Taylor outpointed a tough Mexican veteran Martin Quiroz over 10 rounds, unanimous decision. And now Louie Lomeli trying to load up with the right hand against the skill of John Duplessis. They are both unbeaten, same weight class, junior welterweight. And Duplessis indeed is a lot to lose. Lomeli with a great deal to gain. Crowd continues to be very vocal in support of Lomeli on the left of your screen on the red front. His right commands respect. And occasionally we've seen him switch leads and start out with the right, which on occasion has surprised Duplessis.
But there you saw the beautiful defensive skills of Duplessis. Bobbing left, making one punch miss, bobbing to the right, making the other miss, and then getting out of trouble. And there was the in and out we talked about at the top of this fight, Don. Duplessis getting in, scoring his points, and moving out of trouble.
As he does there with the jab exclusively with the left hand. No following right, and gets away from the two pawing lefts of his opponent.
Let's try to watch how good a job Louie Lomeli is doing cutting off the ring. Now he's got his man in the corner, but he lets him out. He didn't take that step to the right to beat Duplessis to the spot.
Lomeli slowed by the left hook there, but simply bobs and weaves and dances out of danger.
Yeah, and the crowd appreciates some defensive work by Louie Lomeli.
Indeed they do. an obviously pro-Lomeli crowd from nearby Melrose Park, Illinois. We're in Villa Park, and they're both very close to Chicago. There's 35 seconds to go in this round now, and we'll be staying with you between rounds, and Alex is going to have a conversation with Melvin Taylor coming off his fine win we saw a moment ago against Kiro. So there's no question that Lomeli is rising to the occasion of this major opportunity for him. Not that he is winning the fight, but he certainly is on a par with Duplessis, who deserves to be in there, and hits him right there with a stunning right hand. And that brings a rise out of the crowd as the bell sounds to end round number 3. All right, let's go to Alex Wallow now and Meldrick Taylor.
Meldrick, you had another tough Mexican fighter in there. What's your reaction to your performance?
I thought it was a great performance by me. He was a gallant fighter. He was in there to go to 10 rounds, and I hit him with everything in the book, but he was just in there to survive, and it was a good test for me.
I know you're disappointed you didn't get your title shot today. How tough was it for you to get up for this fight, Meldrick?
It wasn't hard because I'm still a hungry fighter, and I haven't achieved my goal yet as far as winning the world title, so I didn't have no effect on me. I got up for this fight just I worked hard. Well, I'll be up to 4 weeks anyway. I mean, I was in shape, so, and it didn't really bother me, and I was just ready to get the workout and then look forward to this title fight.
When do you expect the title fight to come, Meldrick?
July the 31st is the rescheduled fight. I'm just sending a little message to Buddy McGirt, and I know he's watching tonight, and that's just a little bit of what I won't be showing him for the title fight.
Good luck to you, Meldrick. Thanks very much, and congratulations.
I just want to say hello to my dad.
Meldrick Taylor, winner on the first bout of our card today, and this one is up for grabs. Duplessis and Louie Lomeli. What is your sense of scoring as how it should be after 3 rounds, Alex?
I thought that first round was even, Don, and I thought since then Duplessis maybe has a little bit of an edge.
But not an overwhelming advantage.
No, I think the fight's still up for grabs. Lomeli to win, though, has to be more active. He can't just sit there and take punches like that low body shot by Duplessis and not come back with anything. I think he's trying to get Duplessis a little bit too much in perfect position. He's got to let punches go like he did there.
The quick hands displayed by Duplessis again on the silver trunks. But one thing Lomeli has been doing lately and wasn't doing in the first round is he's setting up the right hand better. He's stopping to go to the body or throw the hook or throw the jab as opposed to waiting straight in with it.
You have to watch very closely because Louie Lomeli does have some defensive skill. You just saw him pick that punch off with his elbow. Just because you hear a noise does not mean the punch got home.
And you're hearing a lot of noise from Lomeli's backer.
He picked off those 3 punches from Duplessis, all in his gloves.
Duplessis shifting movement direction from left to right and firing the jab constantly as he goes. His wife, Katrina. Mother Diane there with his wife, and they're saying you can do it, and so far he is getting it done, but he's having a lot of difficulty in containing Louie Lomeli, who wants this oh so badly. We'd like to remind our local stations that at the end of this round, we'll be taking a station break.
There's Duplessis in the corner, but he moved out, and Louie Lomeli could not pin him there and score effectively. In case you're wondering, Louie Lomeli is also married to Olga, but she didn't have the heart to come here and watch today. She might be home watching it in Melrose Park, Illinois.
They've got a young 2.5-year-old daughter. Duplessis smiling as he buckled the knees there to get away from that onslaught and pops up like a jack in the box. That's a minute of the round.
No knockdown.
Good for him. All right, let's go. Come on.
Just outstanding action, both bouts today, both junior runaway bouts in Villa Park. Less than 10 seconds to go now in the round. ABC's professional boxing will continue after this word from our local station. Don Chevrier with Alex Barlow back with you ringside as they approach the halfway mark of the scheduled 10-rounder. John Duplessis, whose skill and speed has given him an edge over Louie Lomeli, by no means has got a free ticket to a victory here. Lomeli remains dangerous.
And I think, Don, that we've given him Duplessis an edge here, but we could be very much at variance with what the judges at ringside have. These are very, very close rounds. It depends upon also if their philosophy is to give Lomeli credit for aggression. He's coming and making the fight, coming forward, and there are judges who give points for that.
And let us not forget how Duplessis from New Orleans has come to Illinois, the home state of Lomeli, and that's where the judges are from.
All three judges are local officials. Interesting, in Duplessis' corner between rounds, Leslie Bonanno told him very directly, this guy cannot beat you unless he knocks you out, and you cannot let that happen. The best way to not let that happen is to stay off the ropes and out of the corners and keep the fight as much as he can in the middle of the ring.
Exactly. Well, the movement's there. The jab is there from Duplessis. The right just landed there. Yep.
Switched for a moment and then went right back to right-handed.
Chopping right by Lomeli lands high on the head of John. Halfway in the 5th round.
And there's a left-handed combination. He landed 2 out of the 3 punches to John Duplessis there. Good left hook by Louie Lomeli there at the end of that, and another right hand behind him.
And a right hand started the whole exchange as he tries to pin Duplessis and takes him down on a slip. Duplessis disgustedly looking back at his corner. He was wrestled down.
That's another push down. And that time the referee, Nate Morgan, warned Lomeli about it. That's a foul.
Referee is Nate Morgan of Chicago. Body shot both ways. Meaningful one. 30 seconds to go. Great action, Alex.
Right, and the important thing was there Duplessis, who might have been a little wobbly, scored his punches and had enough sense to get out of there, not continue to trade.
Okay, hold on.
And a good heavy left hand by Lomeli.
With Duplessis off balance.
I think this is Lomeli's best round of the fight.
Katrina looks more concerned now than ever before, but her man comes back with a flurry at the end of the round. Great action. Stay with us. Now from the left nostril of Louie Lomeli. He came out of his corner with it. Didn't notice it at the end of the round, but takes a couple of hard chops to the head right there.
He might have gotten a good slap in the corner trying to wake him up.
He's getting some big ones now, but he's also giving some.
You see John Duplessis, and there you see the blood is bothering Louie Lomeli. The other problem with that is not just the distraction it provides, but also the problem with breathing. You have to open your mouth, and then you're even more vulnerable. John Duplessis will go down as far as his legs can carry him, and increasingly they are not carrying him off the ropes and out of the corners.
Less and less as they go along. This frantic pace continues now to a 6th round. Duplessis scoring well with either hand.
And much the busier of the two fighters, throwing 5 punches, not landing them at all, but throwing enough, and Lomeli with nothing coming back.
Want to remind you, Barry McQuiggan's comeback trail continues on ABC's Wide World of Sports June 25th against Tomas da Cruz of Brazil. Watch for that.
Duplessis is in trouble.
He's in trouble now. He's been hit hard with both hands, takes a left hook. Lomeli stalking him all around this ring.
His corner yelling at John Duplessis to move, but his legs just aren't there right now.
He has been down, as Alex told you earlier, once in his career. Came back to win that fight. But Lomeli unloading furiously here in this 6th round.
Both these young men are, and that time he just fell. That was not a throwdown. He's complaining, but Nate Morgan would be wise to ignore those complaints, as that time, a la Mark Breland versus Marlon Starling. That time, John Duplessis put himself down to try to gain some time to collect himself.
They will not be asking for refunds in Villa Park today.
They can ask all they want. Here's Exhibit 1. There's a tape of this fight and the previous fight.
Full value and then some for this crowd. Just seconds remaining. Frantic action here. Stay with us for more to come. Battle between Duplessis and Lomeli going now to a 7th round. The scars that show for it are on the face of Lomeli. A nick high in the cheekbone under one eye and blood from one of the nostrils. But in the last round, he got to Duplessis better than he has at any time in the bout.
And I thought for the first time in the bout, one fighter actually dictated the pace and took over the flow of the fight. That fighter was Louie Lomeli. Let's see if he can sustain that.
Boxers tell you with a big opportunity that they really want it. Not all deliver, but Lomeli has made good on that promise and that appreciation of the chance to fight a world-class boxer in Duplessis. He's giving John all he can handle and then some.
I think the question about John's world class will be answered. He's definitely world rated. Whether he's world class or not, I think we'll find out today. John Duplessis on the left, rated #1 by the WBA, and he's in trouble right now. That rating and his unbeaten record, I think, are a little bit of trouble.
The trouble is compounding as the bout goes along. Yes, he has scored, but he hasn't hurt Lomeli at all.
He's just made some visible damage to Louie's high cheekbones. But I really think that the impact of the blows has been felt much more by Duplessis in the silver trunk than Lomeli in the red. And for the first time, you saw the legs betraying John Duplessis as he staggered off the rope and fell back in the corner. And Louie Lomeli shoulders him back in, and Nate Morgan very properly gives him a warning.
The best body check since the hockey season ended.
Another smile from Louie Lomeli. The psychological war also continues. It's been a strong pace from the beginning. Both these young men very well conditioned. John Duplessis on the right of your screen as he goes left-handed, slips a little bit, works with Mackie Shillstone, the man who was made famous by...
Oh! Big right hand after a solid jab, and Duplessis is hurt.
And is that conditioning by Mackie Shillstone and his own dedication, I think, is the only thing that's keeping Duplessis up right now.
He's got 30 seconds to get out of this round. He holds on and leans in on Lomeli to buy as many seconds as he can. He wobbles back against the ropes and parks there. Lomeli, though, has got to be arm-weary. How much has he got left?
Louie Lomeli is also a tremendously dedicated kid who they can't keep out of the gym.
5 seconds to go now as Lomeli stalks Duplessis across the ropes. There's the best. Round 8, and how much more can John Duplessis withstand? He was almost out of his feet in the last round under a concentrated attack by Louie Lomeli in the maroon trunks. It continues here in this round.
Good left hook to the body there by Lomeli, and that's designed to weaken the Duplessis legs even more.
Let's give us some of your ideas as to how the scoring should look at this stage.
I was afraid you were going to do that. Obviously, I think Lomeli won the last 2 rounds. I had the first round even, which is always questionable. I gave Duplessis 2 out of the first 3 rounds after that, 2, 3, and 4. And then I alternated. So, on my scorecard, the fight is very close. The one factor you have to remember is the fact that there are Chicago judges or Illinois officials scoring this fight.
Interesting how 2 world-ranked boxers, very skilled with fast hands, took on very hungry opponents today. Meldrick Taylor got away with his challenge all right, but the same can't be said for John Duplessis against Louie Lomeli.
Duplessis left-handed there, trying to hold off Lomeli, trying to confuse him, switches back to righty. Good left. I was about, and again.
He threw right head first out of the ropes, out of the ring.
And that was a throwdown, and that should be a point deduction. And Louie Lomeli knows that he's coming over to apologize. Nate Morgan is not taking a point away, the referee, so there will be no penalty. That should have been a point deduction.
Absolutely. He just hurled him to the lower strand.
And Duplessis, none the worse for wear, came out and scored a good three-punch combination. One thing you can notice about these Duplessis combinations, Don, is that he has a tendency to slap with his punches, both the right and the left, especially with the left. So often the power of the punch is depleted. Southpaw again is John Duplessis.
He's trying to back him out of the ring again, but he hangs in. A very tolerant referee, Nate Morgan.
Looking good, son, looking good.
On the ropes again and moves off John Duplessis without too much damage. We should point out this is a smaller than normal ring, 18 by 18.
Okay, all right.
Obviously a normal 20 by 20 would favor Duplessis, giving more room to move around. John Duplessis southpaw again is scoring some punches. Louie Lomeli told us that if John Duplessis went southpaw, he would fire right hands, but he has not done that.
As long as it does last, you could expect from what we've seen, these two to sustain non-stop action right to the very end. This is just unbelievable. A couple of rounds to go. We'll be right back. To the last round when Lomeli just grabbed his opponent and threw Duplessis head first out of the ring. No point taken away. It's not the first time it's thrown down either, but no point taken away by Nate Morgan. This is the 9th round. Louie Lomeli on the right of the maroon front, stalking John Duplessis.
And I thought that in the last round, John Duplessis gathered himself, even with being thrown out of a good right hand by Lomeli.
Good right thrown right there as Duplessis counter punches in pain. He's been hurt by that right.
But I thought in the last round that Duplessis gathered himself and won that last round by a very narrow margin, Don.
Both corners have told their boxers that it's too close to call. You might need a knockout to be sure of winning. It is just either way for Duplessis and Lomeli. And that's probably good advice. A low right thrown by Duplessis. This pro-Lomeli crowd chanting Louie, Louie. But Duplessis trying to keep his unbeaten record intact too. Gamely battles back.
Was that your rendition of the old rock and roll song, Louie, Louie, Don? Flurry by John Duplessis. It didn't land a lot of punches, but it certainly got Lomeli off him and allowed him to work himself out of the corner, off the rope. At this stage, Don, it really becomes a question of conditioning.
Katrina, John's wife, his mother Diane. With now a little over a minute to go in the 9th round, a stiff jab thrown by Lomeli. This has got to be a very difficult fight to score.
Well, I was just thinking that here we are with almost coming up to 50 seconds left in the round, and I still don't have a winner in mind for this round. It's just a very even round, as have most of them been. And once again, it gets back to that point that we were talking about your philosophy of scoring. Do you favor punches or do you favor aggressors? Personally, I always try to look for effective aggression. That means not just that you're coming forward, but that you're scoring punches when you come forward. Good right hand and another one by the
Very heavy right. He stunned Duplessis with that. And what often happens in the final 30 seconds of a round can influence the judges tremendously. And the advantage here goes to Lomeli as the seconds tick down in this round. 3 more bruising minutes to follow. We'll be back with them right after this. The man who obviously want this win so badly touched gloves and come out for a 10th and final round in Villa Park, Illinois. John Duplessis, who had the advantage in the early rounds, and Louie Lomeli, who's been gaining ground steadily with power in the closing round. A tough fight to score, we've talked about that, and a case could be made for this bout ending in a draw, I think.
Or a case can be made that it's on the line right here in the 10th round.
Indeed it is. If no fighter should dominate, the draw might ensue. But Lomeli and Duplessis making sure that they're the ones who dominate. Right now it's Lomeli.
And I think for those people who question John Duplessis' chin, this fight has been a partial answer. He has a lot of guts, and he's taken a hard punch from Louie Lomeli a number of times. He's wobbled, he's bent, but he is not broken, Don.
These two have not let up, as you have seen, for more than a few seconds at a time. This is as furious a pace over 10 rounds consistently that you will see in a boxing ring. Stayed on their feet. Duplessis in particular is beyond me. But as Alex says, he has proved the strength of his jaw against the power of Lomeli. They each have 18 knockouts. They've both been taken down once, but nobody has gone down today.
Duplessis has gone down. He just hasn't been knocked down.
Officially, and not been taken down. Even more remarkably, not a mark on John Duplessis. Blood from the nose and a nick on the cheek of Louie Lomeli. But they just don't want to let up, do they?
Let me say one thing. If body language means something, and I think the Sugar Ray Leonard Marvelous Marvin Hagler fight proved that it does, all the body language is in favor of Louie Lomeli. He has looked fresher, he's looked more active, he's looked that he has more left. Although here's a good spurt here by John Duplessis, I think throughout more of the latter half of this bout, Louie Lomeli has looked like he's in control.
Well, Lomeli has had the home field advantage here in terms of the crowd, and who knows, 3 Illinois State judges will score this bout. And a very, very close bout, you would figure that Lomeli would get the edge. He takes it to Duplessis right down to the final 10 seconds. Doesn't get any more active than this, folks. And it will go amazingly to a decision as the bell sounds to end 10 bruising rounds here in Villa Park, Illinois. We'll have the decision in just a moment. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Pert Plus. Shampoo plus complete conditioner in one, so you just wash and go. By Kmart, the savings place, and more. This crowd eagerly awaiting the decision of the 3 ringside judges, Bill Lurch, Mike Gliena, and Jerry Jacuto, all from the state of Illinois. And I would not want to be in their shoes. As a very anxious wife of John Duplessis, Katrina, and his mother, Diane, await the outcome. Neither man can at all be sure of victory at this stage.
And Don, I think the crucial factor could well be the fact that Louie Lomeli is fighting in his hometown. It's got to be very tough. It's got to be very tough for John Duplessis to win a decision here.
Yes, I would think so, indeed. Ring announcer collecting all the cards. And I think he's finally about ready to give it to us.
Came back like a man.
All right, here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official decision, the winner of the unanimous decision, Louie Lomeli.
It is a unanimous decision for Louie Lomeli of nearby Melrose Park, Illinois. For Alex Barlow, I'm Don Chevrier. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader.
Well, we could be approaching a record here, Al, in your 10 years as top-ranked boxing commentator. How many fights have we had? This is about 6, isn't it?
This is the 6th fight. I don't know. One time, in Chicago, the very second or third show of this series, we had a total of 8 fights. all ended in less than 3 rounds. They're all whackouts, so this isn't the record yet.
All right, let's go to the man who spent more time in the ring than any of the fighters so far, Michael
Ladies
Duplessis.
and gentlemen, we just keep moving along. 4 rounds in the super bantamweight division. The referee for this contest is Roger Yanez. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks and weighing an even 119 pounds, from Tucson, Arizona, undefeated 3-0, the Haitian Hammer, Ansi Gedia.
Oh, that's a nickname.
And his opponent,
I like that.
fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim. He weighs an even 120 pounds, from right here in Phoenix, Arizona. He's 0-1.